Yes, I can.
Hey guys, welcome to our channel. We're going to be doing our foundation routines. Me and Adri have very different skin types.
Super different. So I'm really oily.
And I'm super dry, like extra dry, like the desert, honestly. I'm so dry. So we have some good techniques and tricks for you guys if you have either of our skin types, or even if you're combo, you can really pick our routines apart. That way it caters to your needs.
If you guys want to see the rest of it,
keep watching.
It's shooting me. Can I put some? So I like to start with softening lotion, and then I mix Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and then I also mix a little bit of strobe cream,
which I'm also putting on my face. This is what I use on its own as a primer. I have, like I said, really dry skin, so this makes me look a little bit more luminous.
That's already wet, and I'm just gonna like tap this all over my face.
And then while you're doing that, this is the foundation that I've been loving. It's the Jouer Essential High Coverage Foundation. It's actually more of a matte finish, but over strobe cream, it's really pretty. It's more of like a satiny finish. I do one pump, take a beauty blender as well, and just start dabbing it on my face. I start in the center, that's where I like the most coverage, and then just kind of dab it out.
And I love the Smashbox primer. I feel like it gives me the perfect matte because I'm oily, and then I love the strobe cream because it hydrates me.
And you'll notice that my foundation is way darker than my face, but because I self-tan, I need to make sure that it matches my the rest of my body.
I'm gonna use NC30 Studio Fix. I really like it because it keeps my oily skin not oily. And my foundation is also darker than my skin tone, but I could never use my skin tone color.
No, I would look like a ghost and I would need like a ton more bronzer. There's just no way. You want to keep in mind that yes, you want it to match, but you also want it to match the rest of your body.
My favorite concealer is called Bye Bye Under Eye by IT Cosmetics. Literally the smallest dot goes the longest way. I'm scared it's gonna squirt out. I'm just gonna put a little bit here and a little bit here. And I also like to put concealer in this area. I break out a lot in my chin, so we're gonna do a little bit there. I'm gonna use the same beauty blender. I'm gonna go in with Fix Plus.
I'm just still blending this out. Okay, so now I've gotten the coverage that I want, like a base coverage. I'm gonna go back in with concealer now.
That was a hoop.
So now I'm gonna go in with concealer. This is the Studio Waterweight Concealer in NC25. Oh, and in the Jouer, the shade that I wear is Latte. I'm gonna take the tip of my beauty blender now.
I want a little bit more concealer.
And go right underneath my eyes. I need a mirror.
I really like my under eye to be like seen from a mile away.
But I'm using the Waterweight Concealer. It's a newer concealer from MAC. It's really, really luminous. I really like it. Again, a little bit goes the longest way. And just blending it out into the foundation. I might get really red in the corners of like my nose, so I'm just making sure that I hit those spots.
I really love putting Fix Plus on in between.
It really does help like just add the moisture back into the skin, especially if you're using matte products. Blending is definitely, it's gonna take the longest part. It's gonna take some time, but definitely don't rush the process. You can tell when somebody has rushed their foundation. Okay, finally done blending out my concealer into my foundation. And now I'm gonna go in with, actually don't powder my face. So I'm super dry, so eventually my skin will absorb the oils, the extra oils from the foundation and from the concealer, so I just leave it as is. What do you do?
I use Studio Fix NC30 as well, powder. And I only use this all over my face, not under my eyes. Under my eyes, I use, I don't know if I'm saying this right, it's Monica Dara. It's a HD perfecting powder, and I use that with a little Technique brush only under my eye area. I don't really like putting Studio Fix powder under my eyes.
I go straight into bronzer. I use Dark Golden Mineral Skin Finish from MAC. It's one of my favorites. It's super blendable. It's not too dark. And I use a 135 brush also from MAC. Just using back and forth motions, just using the tip of the brush. You want to use something fluffy so it's nice and diffused.
This is absolutely my favorite technique brush. It's literally like a little huevito.
It's perfect.
It's so beautiful.
It's really
and
cute.
I just get very little and then I just dab it under my eye and like near my nose, or I would say like up against the nose.
Up against the moon?
Nose, sort of.
I'm telling you.
It's not funny. It's not funny because it's real.
It's true.
I feel like I lose foundation here really fast. And I don't know if it's because I'm oily or because my skin is real thirsty up in this area. I'm going to use Mineral Skin Finish and Give Me Sun.
I wish I could use that.
And then I'm going to use an angled brush from MAC Cosmetics. It's brush 168.
Okay, I'm using Biana Bronze. It's a matte bronzer. This is what I use to contour. Same brush, but I use it just on the teeny tips just to give me a nice contour. I'm gonna hit the same exact places, but in a more specified area. So just lightly go back in.
And I like to go in heavy with my bronzer because I always go back with a different brush and I buff it out.
And then I stop right where my smell line is.
I really go in kind of heavy the first time I go in with the bronzer. So I'm gonna go in with my blush. I know I haven't blended out my bronzer, but this is how I do my skin routine. You don't have to agree. Mineral Skin Finish Blush and Petal Power. My favorite blush. If you know me, you know this is like my everyday life. And I kind of go in kind of heavy with it. I look like those viejitas that go to misa on Saturdays. I was just walking down the street.
Why do you say viejitas on Saturdays?
Viejitas on Saturdays at church.
They go on Saturdays?
Con su rubor así. And then I'm going to take Studio Fix NC47 and I'm going to go over all of this and kind of buff it out. I'm kind of going to marry everything really softly so that there's no harsh lines, because if you're contouring or bronzing, like, we shouldn't be able to tell that you did that. It should all kind of just like mesh into your skin like it belonged there.
I like my lips to be pretty flesh toned for when I go back in with my lip color. But anyway, I just finished with my contouring. I'm going to go ahead and highlight. The first thing I like to use is a brightening powder. I don't know the name of this. It rubbed off, but it's from the Trolls collection from MAC. I'm going to take a different brush and go right underneath my eyes. And this will also set the concealer, especially since it's more of a like oily, luminous finish. I don't want it to look too sheeny, and I don't want it to separate, so I like to put this over.
And I promise my blush won't look like this forever. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with my highlight. Use Bronze Goddess by Estee Lauder. This is the first time I'm gonna use this.
So it's the first impressions too.
I cannot wait to show you guys.
It's so pretty.
And I know my blush is still like muñeca, but I'm not done yet. But check this out. Oh my goodness.
It looks wet.
Yes. And I'm literally just putting this like on my cheek. Kind of blending it into my cheek blush. And then I only like to do it like right at the tip of the nose. I don't like doing it down the middle. I feel like it makes my nose look wider.
Soft and gentle. It's so oldie but goodie. And I actually bought it just because everyone else had it. I usually always do.
I've never bought it because everybody else has it.
I always do gold ones, but I'm like, you know what?
It's pretty.
It's like a champagne. I'll swatch it for you guys.
So I'm gonna go back in with my beauty blender. It's wet, and I'm just gonna dab everything
really
together.
Okay, so I'm just hitting the cheekbones. I kind of like to go around the temples, and then I'm gonna go down the nose too. So right at the bridge and right at the tip.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but like my blush has toned down. My bronzer is like now married to my foundation. I don't have crazy like demarcation lines.
It's looking good. So you go back in with a beauty blender afterwards?
I do. I kind of just like mesh it all together because I feel like it looks more like melted into your skin. Do you see how like you can't see the bronzer line anymore?
Yeah.
You can't see that big rose spot that I had on my cheek.
Yeah, it looks really good. I'm going to go back in with my bronzer, and this is a MAC. I honestly don't know. I think it's an Oval 3, and I'm going to start contouring my nose. Are you excited?
I clearly am too.
I'm just going on the sides of the nose.
Because this is amazing, and if you don't believe me, then you need to go to your counter. Look at this. I'm just gonna dab some on there with this finger. I can't waste any. Put a little bit on my nose.
She's excited.
It's a good Bubble Guppies episode. So at the very end, I go back in with NC47, which is way too dark for me, but I love it as a bronzer. It's like the perfect yellow bronzer. And I just use the same brush, and then I kind of put everything together.
Okay, I'm taking my Fix Plus. This is the new coconut scented one. I actually haven't even used it yet. I always use the original one, which is this guy right here. But I'm just gonna go in with this guy just to kind of melt the products together now that they're on the skin. Do
Melt
like
me.
5 or 6 sprays.
That was like 12.
I know. Okay. You want to hold it about 12 inches away. Do you know what that's about the distance? The 12 inches?
12 inches.
Then I like to go in with my penultimate brow pen and freckles. Here I come. Start at my nose. I like to bunch them together and then just kind of spread them out.
I'm done with my skin, by the way.
Yeah, skin is, well, for the most part. I'm doing, what's it called? My freckles now.
I'm just doing a little bit of bronzer on my lips. That way if I overdraw, you can't really tell, you know?
Awesome.
It's Stephen Laurent in the color Cafe. Super pretty. Shout out to Ipsy. Got a lot of shouting out today.
Okay, now that I have my freckles on, I'm going to go ahead and take the same fluffy brush I've been using for all the powders and take my Mineral Skin Finish again in dark golden. Swirl it around and then just pat on my freckles just to kind of melt them in, make them less faux-like. Wherever you have freckles, you're normally a little bit darker there. That's where the sun hits. So just want to make sure you add that little bit of reality to your freckles.
Voila!
I haven't had my blush yet. Your routine is so much faster than mine. So I'm putting on my blush in between my highlighter and my bronzer. Take a little bit across the nose.
Somebody's jumping on the bed. This is actually so good. So I'm pretty sure it's Tropicana juice with Patron and 7-Up.
7-Up? Was it Sprite?
7-Up.
Are you sure?
I made it.
I'm just saying.
And it's blended. I don't know why, but I love blended drinks over like iced. If you guys have really good concoctions for alcohol drinks,
please let us know.
Please.
Our main liquor of choice is either going to be Patron, Hennessy, or Remy.
Love Remy.
Okay, so skin is practically done. I have to put on a lip. I can't do this. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with, I bought this for you, Clouds in My Coffee. It's a good one. It's Lip Tensity from MAC. It's super opaque, really creamy, 6 hours to wear. After I put that on, I go ahead with Bosom Friend, which is a limited edition MAC cream sheen lipstick. This came out with the Nicki Minaj collection, all of her nudes. I can't see that far.
I didn't get any of those. Those are really pretty.
I have at least like 3/4 of the collection. It's so pretty. Okay, I know I said I didn't need gloss, but I do. Clear lip gloss never fails me.
Don't we?